Hello, this is Saurabh Wadhwa from Tax Accountant, and today I want to talk about a video on when to retire. It comes in my mind sometimes, maybe coming in your mind. It also comes in people's mind, other people, my clients, they come and ask that question as well. So when to retire? So eligibility for pension, when you get that age, you can retire. One of the criteria is this. So in my country, the age is 65. In your country, age could be different. So when you get to that age, of course, you can retire. When you qualify for a pension, start getting pension, I own a house, I can retire. But these days, the trend is changing. People want to think in their 40s, 30s, that when to retire. So retirement is not age dependent anymore. Basically, the idea is when you have sufficient savings and investments build up and you think you can survive without employment and your business income. So important point is when your sufficient savings and investments are there, so you don't need to rely on employment income or business income. So that kind of time you can look into retire. So what is the sufficient income and savings? How do you get to that number? Well, that number over the period of time, people have come up with different ideas. So, but you can have your own number. So you can look at your contingency planning. So have you got enough for your healthcare cost? And you look at all the expenses that you still have to do. What is that number? You look at that number, food, insurance, all that. But when you go to that number, do also look at market volatility and economic downturn and things like that as well. So even though my investments are there, but what if stop getting that much percentage of return from my investments? What would that number be? And what's your personal goal? What do you want to do? Travel? What are your hobbies, community involvements and things like that? So do the comprehensive review of everything and see what is the number you come out to be. Now, the idea of retirement is not that you're going to sit at home and watch a TV and you're too young, what you're going to do. But this is going to give you the independence such as you might like to do consulting work. So even though you have retired, still doing the consulting work and entrepreneurships. So build something more greater, build something more important that's more closer to you. So those things are important. So give an idea, the number, it has been talks that it's 50,000 per person per year. That's the number. But I personally think that is still too low. You should be aiming for $100,000 per person per year for your retirement. So if you're a couple, two people, so you're talking about family income of 200,000 a year, passive income. Depending on how much returns on investments you can get, but return on investments vary between 3% to 10%. So on a rule of thumb, if you look at minimum of 5% of return. Now these days the problem is you can't count too much on the percentage of return you can get on your investments, because one day on your managed funds the value is here, the other day value is there. So there is a lot of uncertainties out there, but what you can do to safeguard yourself, you can look into the options where you can diversify your risk. So each person is different and each person's risk appetite is different. So, and there is no right or wrong answer, and no one in this world would know what's going to happen tomorrow. No one knows where S&P 500 will land tomorrow, what would be USD price tomorrow. No one knows these things. This is uncertain. But what we can do is we can prepare for some sort of normality and some sort of certainty by diversifying our things. I give an example. So if you have investment portfolio of 6 million of your assets, where we have 2 million worth of debt attached to those assets as well. So you got a risk based analysis such as that 6 million worth of assets are, what is the diversification? Are they all managed funds? If they're all managed funds, it's too risky. So market go down, you might lose all your investments. But if they all are property, what kind of property? What's the mixture? Apartment, condos, bare land. So you got to look at diversifying your risk. So different kind of assets and different kind of rate of return. If you can get rid of the debt so that we don't have to worry about, just in case if there is a big change in the number of passive income coming in, you don't have to pay for that. So any good strategic accountant who got a lot of understanding can sit with you, make a plan with you. But if you want to take my advice today, rule of thumb, if you want to retire 100,000 per person per year, that's the number you can target. And the investments, so if you hoping 5% rate of return, so 5% rate of return to get 200,000 from 2 million, you will get $100,000 a year. What is the composition of 2 million? So we need to diversify the 2 million into different capacity, where you can have a major portion into certain, smaller portion into someone, but again it's up to your risk appetite. You might want to have a less risk, so everything term deposit, easy. So that one of the option could be. Thank you for watching this video.